The villa at sunset. The Italian villa sat regally atop a hill, its marble facade catching the fading golden light of the setting sun. Below, Florence hummed with evening life, its cobblestone streets filled with the chatter of merchants, the clinking of glasses, and the strum of lutes. From the villa's open windows drifted the faint scent of jasmine, mingling with the warm breeze. Inside, Olivia stood in her studio, a space alive with creativity. Canvases leaned haphazardly against the walls, depicting noble portraits and rolling Tuscan landscapes. Her paintbrush hovered over an empty canvas, its tip stained with crimson, but her gaze was not on her work. Near the arched window stood Liam, his broad frame silhouetted by the last rays of sunlight. His navy doublet, embroidered with gold, emphasized the strength of his shoulders and his noble bearing. He looked out over the city below, his dark hair ruffled slightly by the breeze, his jaw tight with unspoken tension. "Do you ever regret coming here?" Olivia asked softly, breaking the silence. Her voice trembled, her grip tightening on the brush as if it anchored her. Liam turned, his deep brown eyes meeting hers. "Regret?" He stepped closer, his boots echoing lightly on the marble floor. "The only thing I regret is that I cannot stay." Before Olivia could respond, the heavy studio door creaked open, and shadows spilled into the room. Signor Vieri entered, his dark robe sweeping the floor. His sharp gaze moved between them like a blade. "You forget yourself, Olivia," Vieri said, his voice cold and commanding. He turned to Liam with a sneer. "And you, my lord, forget your promises." Liam stiffened but held his ground. "I forget nothing," he said, his voice low and steady. "Good," Vieri replied, a thin smile curling his lips. "Then remember this, some flames, no matter how bright, are meant to burn out." As night fell, the villa grew quiet. The bustling streets of Florence faded into a patchwork of flickering lights. Olivia wandered the shadowed hallways, her thoughts turbulent as the sea. The glow of a single candle illuminated her path until she found herself outside the library. Inside, Liam stood before the fireplace, his shoulders hunched as he stared into the flickering flames. His hands rested on the mantel, and his normally unyielding posture seemed to sag under the weight of invisible chains. "You shouldn't be here," he said, not turning as she entered. "And yet, here I am," Olivia replied. The hem of her emerald gown whispered against the floor as she approached. "Why do you keep coming back, Liam, if all it does is bring us pain?" He turned then, his expression raw and unguarded. "Because I cannot stay away. You are all I think of, Olivia. Even when I know I shouldn't." Tears stung her eyes as she clutched the glowing ring around her neck. "You gave me this," she whispered. "You said it would protect me. Was that a lie?" Liam stepped closer, his voice softening. "No. That ring is my promise. But promises don't erase the chains that bind me." The grand hall of the villa was alive with music and light. Chandeliers cast a warm golden glow over the gathering of nobles and merchants, their laughter and conversation blending with the soft strains of a violin. Olivia stood at the edge of the room, her gaze scanning the crowd until it landed on Liam. He moved toward her slowly, deliberately. When he reached her, he extended his hand. "Dance with me," he said softly. She hesitated, glancing toward Vieri, whose watchful eyes never strayed far. But when she looked back at Liam, her resolve melted. She placed her hand in his, and he led her to the center of the room. Their movements were slow and intimate, each step a conversation without words. Liam's hand rested lightly on her waist, his other gripping hers firmly. Olivia's auburn hair brushed his cheek as he leaned closer. "If this is all we have," he murmured, "let it be enough." "It will never be enough," she replied, her voice trembling. At the edge of the city, the first light of dawn began to break. Liam turned to Olivia, his hands framing her face. "This is not the end," he said, his voice steady. "No matter where you go, I will find you." Tears streamed down Olivia's cheeks as she pressed the ring to her lips. "I will wait for you, Liam. Always." Their lips met in a kiss that spoke of everything they couldn't say. But the sound of boots and clashing swords shattered the moment. "Run!" Liam shouted, drawing his sword. "I can't leave you." Olivia cried. You must, he said, pushing her toward the forest. Go. The eternal flame. Years passed, and Olivia found herself in a quiet village far from Florence. Every night, she dreamed of Liam, his promise echoing in her heart. The ring still hung around her neck, its faint glow a reminder of the flame they had kindled. As she stood at the edge of a hill, watching the sunrise, a single tear slipped down her cheek. Somewhere, somehow, she knew he was still searching. As Olivia gazes at the horizon, the promise of love eternal burns bright, reminding us all of the power of hope and connection. If this story touched your heart and you want to see more epic tales of love, betrayal, and sacrifice, don't forget to like this video to show your support. Subscribe to the channel for more timeless romances and captivating stories. Donate to help us continue creating these heartfelt narratives. Your support makes all the difference and helps keep these flames alive. Together, we can bring more epic love stories to life. Thank you for watching, and remember, love transcends time. Sparkling heart.